The reason we're talking blenders today is because your blender is going to be your best friend. If you're cooking for kids, I use blenders probably 3 times a day. I use them in the morning to make frozen matcha. I usually make a smoothie in the afternoon, and then many times I use them to mask vegetables. I love making muffins. I make muffins all the time, and I hide vegetables in muffins using a blender. I also hide them in soups, in sauces for pasta. In many ways, I hide vegetables, and the best way to do that is a blender. So blenders are very important. This one is at least 7 or 8 years old. This one is about 5 years old. And this is an Oster. This is a Ninja. Now, I have the Oster because growing up, this is what we used. And I had one that my parents gave me. They just decided to upgrade or something, and it ran perfectly fine for something like 10 years, maybe 8 years while I had it, and before that probably 20 years. So we're looking at like a 30-year blender life. Never gave me a problem. This one has been pretty good and it runs great still. This part broke. It's glass, and I think the bottom broke. The blade did not break. The little rubber part, the seal, broke. And this front chipped. Rather than replacing components, I got a new blender based on reviews. I got the Ninja, and I've been very unhappy with it, actually. The components of this one are right here. It's plastic, and almost immediately it cracked at the bottom. So Ninja was very good about replacing it, and in fact they mistakenly sent me 2 new entire blenders. This is how the blade works. Just goes in rather than screwing on the bottom in a more traditional way. This is how the top is locking, which I don't love because I like to, while it's running, put a spatula or a spoon in it, even though that's probably not safe. So this cracked. I got 2 new blenders, and while the base continued to work so-so, I wound up with 3 of these. The original that cracked, and of course the second 2 cracked as well. I don't love using plastic either. My preference is glass. I feel like it holds up better, and we hear all this about microplastics. I don't know. Somebody told me that glass actually contains more microplastics than plastic. That would be worth Googling. I'm not sure about that. I would not recommend the Ninja beyond the fact that the blades going upwards like this really blend more quickly if you're looking at blending ice or something on the drier side. It does have a greater capacity. So if you have soup and you cool it down and you don't have an immersion blender, this would be a good choice, I think. I think it's easier to pour things out of because the bottom is part of it. The base doesn't come off. Other than that, I would really recommend this blender over this one. This is going to be a smoothie for my kids. We've got bananas, they're pretty ripe. You want them to be pretty ripe. Normally I would just make this with 1 banana, but I'm making it for 3 people. Myself, my son, and my middle daughter. So 3 bananas. So I am a fan of sugar. You could leave the sugar out, and I actually would recommend, if you don't have a sweet tooth, definitely leave the sugar out. It'll be too sweet. But this is for kids, and I have a sweet tooth. So per banana, we're gonna put in 1, I'd say slightly shy of a tablespoon of sugar. So I'm adding peanut butter. Peanut butter as well. Peanut butter and banana is one of my favorite flavor combinations. And I don't eat meat, so it's a great way to get some protein as well. So I'm going to take a huge glob of peanut butter. Again, this is because I have 3 bananas. I would say, again, it's about a tablespoon, like the sugar per banana. So I'm going to put that near the middle. one downside of this blender is the peanut butter tends to fly out to the sides and get stuck. So I tried to put it near the middle and then cover it with yogurt, and then that's less likely to happen. I eyeball this. I would say probably a half a cup of yogurt per banana. I'm just gonna dump it in until it looks good. That looks good to me. I use a lot of ice. I love ice. This is 2 entire trays in. If I did this with 1 banana just for myself, I put an entire tray of ice in. The Ninja blender is good and quick for blending ice. So like I said, the top for this one locks. I'm gonna lock it. And now, just like I said, the peanut butter got all stuck to the sides. So you wind up having to stick the knife in and cleaning that off. And then blending some more. In the reviews online about this blender, I read that some people feel like it almost over blends when it comes to smoothies, and I would agree. And I think that the Oster is a little better in terms of not pulverizing the ice, so that you still get that like icy texture, which I think is good in a smoothie. If you don't like icy texture, then this is the blender for you. When it's all uniform and you don't see chunks of peanut butter, then you're done blending. So now I'm gonna pour it. You can either pull this part out, or you've got to hold it in. Gonna pour it into glasses. Okay, so here is the taste test. Ready, guys? What do you think?
I really like it. The peanut butter and banana combo tastes really good together, and the texture is also very good.
I think it's a 10 out of 10. It's really good. I like the banana flavor too.